What's up, y'all? It's your boy Carcino here, live in effect. Let's talk about Michelle Beadle. Michelle Beadle now. She's not leaving ESPN, but she was involved in controversy too. But because she's white, you ain't gonna hear about it. As long as she's white, it's all right. So you ain't gonna hear about it. So here's the notion, you know what I'm saying, that people are ignoring. Michelle Beadle and Jalen Rose and everybody else there, they kind of butt heads a little bit, everybody on that show. Mainly with Greenberg, because she's more towards the women feminist movement that's going on. And when you start going in that direction, you're automatically putting yourself in a position where you're gonna look like the bad person. When she started that, and she realized the college football game is something that she didn't want to cover no more. She really didn't want to be a part of it. She's not going to watch football anymore, whether it's pro or college, because they are too negative towards women. Now, when you start something like that and you're in sports and supposed to talk about sports, kind of conflict of interest. Because now people use Michelle Beadle as the example. Like, why come she could say all this stuff, but nothing happens to Michelle Beadle? My thing is, Michelle Beadle knows more about basketball because that's what she grew up around. She's a Spurs fan. Her family is Spurs, Spurs, Spurs. Okay. So now when it comes to Beadle, her controversy was after she attacked pro and college football for their and the way that around the game treat women. She will no longer be required by the ESPN to talk about sports, period. So she got her disbark from Get Up after Thursday's show. She got into disembark rather, so she might be the luckiest person on the side of the boat. Because she's giving up her South Street Seaport Derek's chair. She never really wanted to be on the Mike Greenberg's morning program. She never wanted to be there. Nobody remembers that. And he didn't want her there too. They just needed a female presence there on the show who wasn't just a moderator. So they wanted a little diversity. And when you want diversity, you grab Beadle. Now, contrary to what people know, Beadle's not their favorite person on the show. Like, other white folks can't stand her. She's not like the beloved white girl of the show. No. She is like, people have been against Michelle Beadle for I don't know how long. And guys at ESPN can't stand her. That was the case where she told some guy at the job that she wanted to get laid by one of the players or something. And she said that story was false. It was a lie, and it has haunted me my entire career. So now Michelle Beadle's making a transition. ESPN management extended her contract and is moving her from New York back to Los Angeles so she can get away from people like Greenberg and get back to her LA roots. You know, it sounds like a sad story, don't it? She gets a nice position now. Now she will continue her job as host of NBA Calm Down pregame shows, the one she got from Stage Steel. And now, in addition, she will take on the post game effort, like the NBA after the buzzer. She's gonna double down on the NBA studio content. So NBA is always good with fan action and interaction because of social media, more so than the NFL or college football. So Connor Schnell, the executive producer and vice president for ESPN, is going to make an announcement that as the basketball world looks into LA with renewed interest, meaning LeBron James, we'll be right to cover it right there. Meaning that LeBron James is going to get all these dates, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. And ESPN is very committed to the Get Up show, but at the same time, is taking back one of the program's 3 hours each weekdays as of Labor Day. Smart Money says if there's any significant or growth for football season, ESPN will tell Get Up to get lost. Let's just say the ratings have, well, they were down. It was starting too early, so all the meat of the show is already gone by the time the 7 a.m. program hits. But if the show started at 7, with the 6 a.m. show basically being a an hour that's becoming an edition of Sports Center, it's a better setup for the sports fan to start their day rather than the way it was before. So the way it's structured now, the numbers have improved. And it's naturally going to improve. The earlier you make the show, the better it's going to do. Cut the show down an hour and then let it go. See, it's like the old Greenberg Mike and Mike show. Jalen Rose is going to stay on the show, and he's going to be a regular with Greenberg. Jalen and Beadle got along sometimes. You know, they butt heads a little bit with Jalen's. You know, she feels he's a little macho, you know, old style, old school style, stuck in his ways. But he works well with her. So on Countdown, they do two jobs. It's Greenberg and Beadle who does Beadle's more of the guy's guy, you know. He's really him and Beadle and her ideologies and her idiocracies or whatever just really throws a bad monkey wrench into the program. So Chauncey and Paul Pierce will share the duties with Jalen Rose and Beadle on the NBA's countdown side. Rather than name a replacement for Beadle, Get Up will lean on the previous guest hosts. They'll have Laura, what's her name, Rutledge, and Jen Lada, Maria Taylor, all they they'll just keep circulating broads in there as the show goes on. But but as part of that mandate goes, for the football season, ESPN, NFL, and college football commentators, including like Jesse, Lewis, and Paul, Rex Ryan, and all those guys, they'll be in there for that abbreviated format. You know, it's a lot of football talk, and a lot of those guys don't like Beadle because she's basically, I don't like football guys. They don't like you either. So, so Beadle knew she was getting out of there. So when she last week declared she would avoid watching football after Ohio State, wrist slap of Urban Meyer, how he dealt with the allegations of domestic abuse and all that shit. I believe the sport of football has set itself up to be in a position where it shows itself to be the bigger picture, to not really care about women. They don't really care about people of color, but we don't get into that one for the NFL either. But as a woman, I feel like a person who has been marginalized. I'm like, huh? They just bought out Jamel Hill. They moved you to LA to be closer to LeBron so you can cover the Lakers. And you being marginalized? Oh man. So if Beadle had said that on the show, people watched in greater numbers. This would have resonated louder than it did. But since she said it on that show, it went unnoticed. He was like, every single one of these stories that come out every single time pushes me further and further away. I realize they don't care. But for me, it has opened my eyes up this week for my weekends. I appreciate you for giving that to me. I don't care anymore. I have lost the ability to be surprised. Noting that Ohio State only suspended Meyer for 3 games rather than firing him, Meyer couldn't even pretend he meant a single word of his statement he read after the sanction was handed down. She was mad. The entire thing is a disgrace. I'm numb to it. I'm just ready for the NBA to kick off, quite frankly. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm here for. That's all she'll be around for, too. That, now that's the thing. She can go on air and say all of these things. Imagine if Jamel Hill had went on her show on the air of ESPN and said something like that about college football, whose sponsors and everybody else pump money into ESPN. How quickly they would have escorted her out the door, to the parking lot, to the car, to the security badge, to it all. How fast would have been that transition of that boot kicking her out that door? Tell me, because I know her. She'd have been gone so quick, she'd been out like a scout on a new route. So don't tell me, I know. There was no way in hell she was supposed to keep her job after that. But nope, they saying, well, we'll just let you cover the NBA. Wow. It's all right if you're all white. Don't disagree with nothing she said, but wow. That's the type of talk you do when you know you're going to get fired. But she talked like that because she knew she was getting moved. And now she don't have to be in New York, which she really didn't want in the first place. She wants to be in California. She don't want to be out there in the snow. So they played that one just right. I'm out.